For hundreds of years, giant crocodiles were killed en masse till the brink of extinction. While many look down on this practice now, it was a way of life at the time. One of these species hunted with prejudice was the saltwater crocodile. It is a species that has the claim of largest living reptile, with a crocodile potentially reaching over 2,000 pounds. While specimens of up to 20 feet have been confirmed, much larger individuals have been reported. Many of these claims come from hunters, and while the individuals I'm about to talk about are not confirmed, they are, in my opinion, interesting stories. The first crocodile is a 33-footer called the Father of the Devil. James R. Montgomery was a rubber plantation owner in North Borneo in the early 20th century. From the years of 1926 to 1932, Montgomery was known to hunt crocodiles in the river near his plantation. Quote, "My interest in this reptile arose firstly from the protection of my native labor force, who bathed and laundered in the river. One of the things that gives Montgomery more credibility to his experience with crocodiles is him referencing something called a peg measurement. A peg measurement is when you put two pegs in the ground at each end of the crocodile, one at the tip of the snout and one at the tip of the tail. The straight line measurement in between these two pegs is the most accurate way to tell a crocodilian's true length, compared to a dorsal or ventral measurement, which may include the curves of the animal. However, he stated many of the crocs he killed were not measured in this method. Quote, "In most cases, it was not possible to do a peg measurement, as there were little means of moving the body. What we did was to straighten it out, drawing a line from the snout to tip of tail, and measuring that. In the whole of this period, I shot and measured as best I could some 20 reptiles between 20 and 26 feet. One crocodile in particular he saw was a true monster. It was known to the locals in the area and was called the Father of the Devil. Montgomery saw him a few times and never killed him, but was able to find out how big he was. Quote, "On one memorable occasion, I came across him asleep on a sandbank in the middle of the river. His snout was in the water at one end of the sandbank, and the tip of his tail in the water at the other. We got him to move off the sandbank and measured the sandbank very carefully with a 50-foot surveyor's tape. The sandbank was 32 feet 10 inches long, making him in the region of 33 feet plus. The local villagers knew about the crocodile for some time and believed it to be 200 years old. Quote, "We never shot at him as the Saluk looked on him as the Father of the Devil. Silver money was always thrown into the river wherever he was to ward off harm. On one occasion, he broke the back of my kerosene launch in trying to overturn it. I suppose I must have seen him 6 or 7 times in all, and he made my 20-footer look like a baby." While this crocodile was never verified by photographic evidence or by a scientist, Montgomery was looked upon as a respectable and trustworthy person. The next crocodile is a 24-footer from a hunter known as Crocodile Harry. Crocodile Harry, as he was called, was a Latvian crocodile hunter that lived in Australia. He was said to have hunted 10,000 saltwater crocs over a 13-year period. He is even rumored to be the inspiration for Crocodile Dundee, but this is disputed. Either way, he was a well-known hunter at the time, and one of the large crocodiles he got is intriguing to me because of some photographic evidence. This here is a supposed 24-foot salty Harry caught. The only information I've been able to find is a caption of the photo from photographer Simon Normand. Quote, "This is a photo that Crocodile Harry gave me before he died in 1995. He speared this croc in the Roper River in 1956. It was 24 feet long. This hasn't been photoshopped." There is also another version of the photo I found that still indicates that this is a big crocodile. My only issue is that I don't know how far back he is behind the crocodile, and that it could be a forced perspective shot. It's also hard to tell how big this crocodile actually is, but it's still an interesting photo. The last one is a 28-footer named Krys the Savannah King. Some other famous crocodile hunters in Australia were Ron and Christina Poloski. They were a Polish couple that started hunting crocodiles in the 1950s when they moved to the country. While Ron was the one who initially wanted to start hunting crocs, his wife Christina would be the one well known for her shooting skills when hunting crocodiles. Christina had the nickname One Shot as she was well known to have precise accuracy when shooting the reptiles. Over the many years, the dynamic duo ended up killing around 10,000 saltwater crocodiles. Some sources claim the vast majority of their crocs never went past 18 feet, but one book I found that interviewed the Poloskis shows this photo with the following caption. Quote, "This is what a 6.096 meter saltwater crocodile adds up to. It was taken by the professional hunting team of Ron and Krys Poloski. With the beast is their eldest son." Whether or not Ron and Christina did kill any crocs in the 20-foot range doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, because it doesn't compare to the beast they would see in 1957. In July of 1957, as they were on a boat in the Norman River, they saw a humongous crocodile, one that was larger than anything they'd ever seen before. Ron was reluctant to shoot the beast, mainly because he knew how hard it would be to skin and preserve the hide of such an animal, but Christina was determined to shoot it. She shot the animal and the croc's life ended in an instant. Once the couple got closer to examine the crocodile, they both regretted what they had done, as they both thought the crocodile was too impressive to kill. As Ron recalled, quote, "It had eyes like oranges. I've never seen anything like it." They measured its length and the crocodile ended up being 28 feet 4 inches long. Ron estimated the crocodile to be around 2 tons. As a tractor would have been required to transport the huge crocodile, they had to leave the body there temporarily. They decided to cut the head off the crocodile to have some proof of its existence, but even the head was too heavy to transport. Ron took several photos of the crocodile with the boat pulled up near the crocodile to give some indication of its size. They tied the carcass to a tree and returned to retrieve the crocodile. However, by the time they got back, the crocodile's carcass was gone. Apparently someone saw the crocodile's carcass floating out of the Norman River into the sea sometime later. Ron apparently sent some of the photos to New York and London but never heard what happened to them. The photographic evidence Ron and Christina had unfortunately was lost in a flood, and therefore any proof of this croc's existence is long gone. While there is no evidence of this crocodile's existence, the story is still well remembered. A statue was built in honor of the massive croc and was named Krys in honor of Christina. One thing that gives credibility to this crocodile existing is that a well-respected crocodile expert by the name of Graham Webb believes the story. Graham Webb is a scientist who was deeply invested in the early years of protecting and understanding saltwater crocodiles. He was even the chair of the Crocodile Specialist Group for 20 years. He spoke with both Ron and Christina for 3 days, and Webb told me that they were both, quote, very accurate observers when it came to crocodiles, and doesn't believe they were lying. Although these stories are all interesting reports, the largest crocodile ever officially measured is still as salty from the Fly River in Papua New Guinea, at 20 feet 4 inches long. This is the official record, and anything bigger is speculation or unconfirmed. However, I do believe that bigger crocs once existed and maybe still are out there. Even if a giant crocodile was not photographed and measured by a scientist, that doesn't mean a crocodile didn't exist. It just can't be confirmed. Many of these hunters in the past were well respected at the time, and were knowledgeable when it came to the animals they hunted. Crocs of this size would be true freaks in the crocodilian world if they were real, but I do believe it is or was possible for at least one individual to achieve such massive size. I also want to say that what a lot of these hunters did in the past was simply wrong. Killing crocodiles en masse and doing it so in an unsustainable manner was bound to cause problems. However, as time went on, many of those same hunters learned from their mistakes. That included Ron and Christina. The Poloskis did pioneering work to farm crocodiles so the wild population would no longer be depleted. They even advocated to stop exporting croc skins and ban hunting of crocs altogether in Australia. As Ron said, quote, "Crocodile killing had begun to disgust me, as did any other kind of hunting that involved killing." As for Christina, she regretted killing the big croc till the day she died. Quote, "He never woke up, and he never knew we were there. He was the most beautiful animal." To learn more about the animals you just saw, buy my book, What We Get Wrong About Crocodilians. It examines claims of giant crocodiles, a World War II massacre, their regenerating tails, alligators in sewers, their record land speeds, and more. The book looks at a variety of subjects many people, including experts, get wrong about these animals, and I desperately wanted to dispel the myths that have persisted so long. Buy What We Get Wrong About Crocodilians in physical or digital formats. Link in bio, comments, or description to buy.